Good morning. I'm Eric Nelson. Between the songs and the readings, it's like there's not a lot to say, but that won't stop me, I guess. So today I'd like to share a bit about my own spiritual journey. Some of you have heard this before, so bear with me. And what I've learned over the past 50 years of study and practice. Many of you know I began my journey into contemplative practice in my early teens, and I've been exploring this path since that time. For the first 30 years of my life, I explored a variety of contemplative practices, primarily in the Hindu tradition. I also studied theosophical spirituality, and I settled on Raja Yoga after some time, which is known as the royal path within Hinduism. Raja Yoga emphasizes meditation and mental discipline to achieve self-realization and liberation from the mind's disturbances by cultivating ethics, physical and breathing exercises. Some of you may be familiar with those. Progressive stages of concentration and meditation that all lead to the goal of awakening and samadhi. The core philosophy of Raja Yoga is that by stilling and purifying the mind, one can reveal the true self at the root of our being, which is described as pure consciousness. While I experienced many benefits from these practices, I found this path difficult to integrate into my life as a Westerner. In my late 30s, I was introduced, and both Regina and I were introduced, I believe, to mindfulness and compassion practice called mindfulness-based stress reduction through a retreat at the Fetzer Institute in 1996, which was taught by Jon Kabat-Zinn, a pioneer of medical mindfulness practice in the United States. The retreat and its teachings resonated, and I found a new spiritual home in the Buddhist philosophy of mind and consciousness. Now, almost 30 years later, I continue to deepen my practice of awakening into my true nature, which some Buddhists describe as the awakened heart or bodhicitta. I'll say more about that. Buddhism describes bodhicitta as the compassionate aspiration to attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. It arises from an understanding of suffering and a desire to end it, and involves both an urge to purify one's own confusion and ignorance and a sincere wish to benefit others, and involves cultivating love, compassion, and a deep resolve to reduce suffering for all beings. So today I'll share what I've learned through my study and practice, and we'll focus on the practice of loving kindness, which aligns nicely with our UUCC Living from the Heart programs like Thoughtful Thursdays and our Qigong and our meditation programs. So how does the path of loving kindness differ from methods for personal or individual growth and transformation? To provide a response to this question, my talk today will be guided by the teachings that some of you know Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun in the Buddhist Shambhala tradition. Pema talks about how the traditional spiritual journey of awakening is often portrayed as a personal solitary journey, leaving the world and its troubles behind in search of transcendence. But the path of loving kindness turns this metaphor on its head. Instead of rising above suffering, the loving kindness practitioner descends into it. This is a journey not of escape, but of courageous presence. Moving downward through uncertainty, insecurity, and pain, the loving kindness warrior does not seek to avoid or fix suffering, but to open to it fully. Sounds like a pleasant thing, doesn't it? At the bottom, amidst the chaos and the struggle of life, we discover bodhicitta, or the awakened heart, the love that will not die, as the Buddhists describe it. So what is the power of bodhicitta, or awakened heart? Bodhicitta is translated from Sanskrit as awakened heart, and according to Buddhist philosophy, is the essential nature of every being at the core of each of us. Like oil in a seed or butter in milk, it exists untouched by cruelty, fear, or selfishness. This awakened heart expresses itself as love and compassion, It is particularly powerful during times of hopelessness and despair, when we are most tempted to shut down. Bodhicitta, or the awakened heart, arises when we stop shielding ourselves from pain and allow ourselves to feel both our own vulnerability and our kinship with others who are suffering. This gentle tenderness is not weakness, but strength. Through training, we learn to let the pain of the world touch our hearts and to respond not with avoidance, but with compassion. So how do we become warriors of the heart? Those who commit to this path are called bodhisattvas, warriors of non-aggression. These warriors choose to face discomfort and uncertainty, not run from it. They don't fight in the traditional sense, but rather they confront fear, our ego, and avoidance within ourselves. They use tools like meditation, something called sending and receiving compassion practice, and today we'll be working with the 4 limitless qualities. I'll be doing a guided practice that include loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. The path is not about reaching some final happiness, but about growing up and learning to face life directly. The key question for anyone on this journey becomes, do I prefer to grow up and relate to life honestly, or live and die in fear? A small challenge there. A central teaching of the warrior path of the awakened heart is that discomfort is not the enemy. Painful emotions like fear, anger, jealousy, grief are not problems to be solved, but rather indicators that we are resisting reality. They serve as flags pointing out where we get stuck or where we're shutting down. The invitation is to stay with emotions, rather than automatically reacting or escaping. By staying, we learn to catch ourselves before old habit patterns take over. Over time, we become able to rest in uncertainty, a big challenge for our lives, to remain open even when we feel broken or overwhelmed. This willingness to stay with pain without sugarcoating or fleeing is the essence of spiritual maturity. The essential practice of the warrior path of awakened heart is called Maitri, or loving kindness. This is the practice of placing our fearful, anxious mind into the cradle of gentleness and acceptance. The image of a mother bird caring for her chicks illustrates this point. We are both the chick, who is vulnerable and raw, and the mother, who is capable of love and protection. We learn to love ourselves not only when we are strong or successful, but also when we are weak, messy, and struggling. Maitri, or loving kindness, is unconditional. It teaches us to relate to our experience with honesty and kindness, without trying to fix or escape it. Over time, we develop a clearer sense of what brings happiness and what causes harm. Not through judgment, but through compassionate awareness. So how do we cultivate loving kindness? When we begin meditation or any spiritual discipline, we often fall into the trap of self-improvement, wanting to become someone better, calmer, or more enlightened. But this can be a subtle form of self-aggression, rejecting who we are right now. Real practice is about befriending ourselves as we are, our craziness, the jealousy, the insecurity, our anger. We don't need to throw away parts of ourselves. Instead, we cultivate curiosity, gentleness, and openness to all parts of ourselves. Not an easy task. Meditation helps us drop our judgments and simply observe what's there. We learn to see clearly with precision, to be kind with gentleness, and accepting and open to what arises in each moment. With these qualities, there is no obstacle to loving others because we have finally learned how to love ourselves. I'll repeat that. With these qualities, there's no obstacle to loving others because we have finally learned to love our whole selves. So with this introduction to loving kindness, I'd like to guide us in a practice today, an experiential practice of the awakened heart. So if you want to just get in a comfortable position, we'll move into kind of a guided practice here. And just take a moment. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. And maybe just noticing the sound of this bell and let that carry you into a place of quiet and stillness. So with the feet flat on the floor, the hands comfortably in the lap or on the legs, begin by taking a moment to become aware of any thoughts or feelings you may be experiencing right now. Acknowledge how things are for you right now. Whether pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And now shifting to awareness of the body. I've facilitated this practice many times. Body awareness is a powerful tool for coming into the present moment because we're simply noticing experiences in this moment. We're not lost in projections of the past, the future through the thinking mind. So begin by just noticing the feet, contacting the floor, contacting the earth. Notice the sensations of that contact. And then just becoming aware of the legs, sensations there, temperature, pressure, heaviness, lightness. And sensing into the hips, the contact of the sits bones on the chair. And noticing the abdominal area, maybe the rise and fall of the abdomen. And just inviting the whole lower body from the hips down to soften, soothe, and rest. Soften, soothe, and rest. Now sensing into the chest, the rib cage and the chest. Again, maybe noticing the rise and fall sensation of the breathing in the body. Sensing into the arms and the hands. Sensations in the shoulders, inviting the shoulders, the back, to soften, soothe, and rest. And moving from the shoulders, just noticing the back of the neck, sides of the neck, the front of the neck and throat, the jaw, and just letting go of any contractions, any tightness. And sensing into the whole face now, the jaw, the cheeks, the lips, the nose, the eyes, the brow, the forehead. And just releasing any tension in the forehead, that point, especially between the eyebrows, just relaxing the face like a sleeping baby's face. No expression at all, just softness and rest. Now, just for a moment, we'll just bring our attention to the breath in the upper body. the actual sensation of being here, alive right now, in this moment, breathing. Thoughts, emotions, and other sensations can just rest in the background, but just being with the breath as best you can in the foreground without pushing away the background. It's a deep acceptance of what is arising right now in the sensation of the breath. So now we'll move into the loving kindness practice. So bring to mind the image of a person who you know or you've been or who you have known in your life that is loving and kind to you. Someone who easily evokes feelings of warmth and love. It could be a spouse or a partner, parent or family member, a mentor or a close friend. Someone who's been good to you, someone who helps you feel safe and whole, whose caring easily emanates from them to you. So just bringing that person into your awareness. And now we'll shift into the phrases of loving kindness. So this being sending their love to you through these words. May you be happy, healthy, and whole. And actually, we're sending this to this being, I'm sorry. So this, extending these words to this being that you feel safe with. May you be happy, healthy, and whole. Giving these wishes to this being. And imagine them receiving your wishes. May you have love, warmth, and affection. May you be protected from harm and free from fear. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. May you experience inner peace and ease. And just taking a minute to continue to extend wishes of loving kindness to this being, letting yourself have a sense of these wishes of well-being emanating from them as well and connecting with them or connecting with you. So this reciprocity of us sending loving kindness and this experience of having it reflected back from this being. So as we move into this, as you're ready, seeing the image of this person or figure wishing you these very same things that you wish for them. Knowing that they have your well-being in their heart and imagine them saying to you, may you be happy, healthy, and whole. May you have love, warmth, and affection in your life. And just imagine them close to you, feeling their presence and unconditional love for you as they say, may you be protected from harm and free from fear. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. May you experience inner peace and ease. Just letting these feelings kind of wash over you, feeling their unconditional love and caring for you. Letting the feelings of love and safety grow in you. Knowing there is nothing you have to do to deserve these feelings and wishes, that they are given freely without condition. See if you can connect the meaning of these phrases, even if you might not feel all the safety and warmth right now. Knowing that is their wish for you, you now seeing if you can have these wishes for yourself, hearing yourself say to yourself, may I be happy and healthy and loved. May I be safe and protected. May I be alive and free. May I experience inner peace and ease. Extending again to ourselves, may I be happy and healthy and loved. May I be safe and protected. May I be alive and free. May I experience inner peace and ease. And moving to the next practice, you may have loved ones for whom it's also easy to have wishes of loving kindness, maybe a friend, a child, a family member, a beloved pet. If it feels right to you, just bring in an image of one of these beloveds to you, into your heart, mind, and extending loving kindness, these words to them. May you be happy and healthy and loved in your life. May you be safe and protected and not suffer. May you be alive and joyful. May you have inner peace and ease. If it feels right, are there other people in your life that you would like to extend these wishes to? Another being, maybe it's a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, bringing an image of someone into your mind's eye and extending to them. May you be happy and healthy and loved in your life. May you be safe and protected, free from harm. May you be alive and joyful. May you have inner peace and ease. And then a little more challenging. We're nearing the end of this, but if you feel comfortable with this, you might try extending these wishes of loving kindness to someone you have difficulty with in your life right now. Not necessarily the most difficult person in your life, but someone for whom there's been some sort of frustration or misunderstanding. In doing this, it might help to remember that just like you, they want to be loved. And just like you, they want peace in their life. So bring in an image of someone into your mind, heart. Just like me, we're sending these words. Just like me, they want to feel happiness and joy. Just like me, they want peace and ease. And they want to be loved and to know their loved ones are safe and healthy. And just like me, They are doing their best they can with what inner and outer resources they have. And if possible, silently saying to them, may you feel peace and ease. And just remembering that if this were really true for them, that they would certainly be easier to get along with. May you have love and warmth in your life. May you be happy, healthy, and whole. So even if this has been difficult, there's a value in noticing what it's like to extend the wish, recognizing that you're not condoning someone's actions, but seeing in them a human being with some of the same needs as you, to be loved, to be safe, to be at peace. And if it's possible, remember the circle that began with yourself and the persons you love the most, family, friends, extending the circle to include all the many people you don't know who are far away in countries or cultures. May all beings be happy and healthy. May all beings have peace and ease. May all beings have love and warmth in their lives. And finally, extending to ourselves again. May I be happy and healthy. May I have peace and ease. May I have love and warmth in my life. And as we conclude this loving kindness meditation, taking time to appreciate and feel what's been generated through this practice. And even if there's been difficult parts of this practice, knowing that this practice has the potential to increase your sense of aliveness, of connection, and belonging. And when you're ready, letting yourself feel again your physical presence, sensations of the body, feet, the neck, the head. And beginning to notice the movement of your breath. Bringing aliveness and nourishment to your body. Just as your wishes of good will bring aliveness and nourishment to those around you. So thank you, and we'll have her closing.